Welcome everybody. My name is Antonella Passani. I'm Head of Research and Partners at the SIX Ecosystem, one of the partners of PartArt4OW, and I will do the first part of this second and last webinar, and then other colleagues will present other bits of our open call. So before we start, I do briefly presentation of the whole consortium. So from just to close the T6 team, with me, Salvatore Costureri, who will be answering your questions in the chat, and who's the one answering emails most of the time when you have questions. Stella Diaco, supporting me for the open call and for the impact assessment. Then we have our project coordinator, Chiara Certoma from La Sapienza, the boss. With Caterina Pozzobon and Luca Bertocci, still same La Sapienza team. Then we have Marina Drover from Fondazione Epica, who is also the technical people today for this call. Carolina Dopico from Legendre Network, our dissemination expert. Maria Hari Michel from CMMI, which is the Cyprus Marine and Maritime Institute, responsible for the creation of the ecosystem around the project. I forgot Marina, Fondazione Epica, our artistic partner, I will say. Okay, so this is us. There are a few people missing. If you will succeed with your proposal, you will meet later on. Now I will share my screen and start the presentation. Tell me if you can see it. Seems so. Okay. So as I said, this is the second webinar and it will take 1 hour, and then will be followed by the matchmaking session, in which we will give you the opportunity to meet other like-minded people, maybe for creating the consortium that you need to find the partners that you're still missing. The agenda is as follows. We did the welcome introduction. I will briefly talk about the project and the core concepts. Then we will dive into the accelerator, so the support program that we prepared for the project that will join us. The first open call challenge, the eligibility criteria, the submission process, and then I will give the floor to the team La Sapienza for the financial guidelines, the contract. We will have hopefully a little bit of time for the question and answer, and then we will move to the matchmaking session. For what entails the question and answer, please use the chat. So start write your questions in there, and then we will pick some, and we will give you floor for talking if we have enough time. The first and most important disclaimer is that this webinar do not substitute the open call documents. So we will talk about all these points, but more detailed information can be found in the guide of applicants and the FAQs, which are on the PartArt4OW website in the open call page. So please be sure to read them very carefully. And as you will hear, at least at the 10 times during this webinar, not only read, but actually study them. We put a lot of time and effort in order to provide as many information as possible in the most detailed way. If you have doubts, you can always write us, and we will answer you as quickly as possible. So, what is PartArt4OW? Is an European-funded project in the Mission Ocean program that is aiming at support collaborative initiatives that can help European citizens to take action, to understand the challenges, and to be more aware of the ocean and water challenges. So working on sustainability. What do? We provide funding, training, mentoring, networking opportunity to those initiatives that we will find and support via the accelerator. We also do research on top of it in order to understand if really this approach, so mixing art, participation, and science, is leading to the change we are looking for, and we also create an ecosystem around us to support the project, but supports also the European stakeholders in working more on this topic in a more effective way. So you already heard the word participatory a couple of times. It is in the title. This is very important. What do we mean with participatory art? We mean that we want to emphasize the active role of citizens, community, and society at large. So we believe art and creativity more general can boost a process that is able to empower citizens, to make community bound more strong, or to build new social bond. And for this reason, we are looking for initiatives, for projects that are able to engage citizens across different stages of the creative process, which means that the citizens of the community are not the audience, are not the recipient of a product or a piece of art or a creativity output, but they are actually doing it. They are actually thinking about it. They are involved in as many stages as possible. From the idea of the project, so co-designing, for example, the project, to the participation to the artwork development, participation in the research process, because we are looking for art and science project together, collaboration. So methodologies like citizen science can be a way to do citizen engagement, but there are, of course, many others in the research, in the participatory research area, but also advocacy, evaluation, communication, just to name a few. It means this list is not, it's not the final one. There are many, many, many other ways to have them onboarded. We give just examples. So what is a participatory art initiative? What we are looking for, what we will finance. We want to finance, but also support trans, interdisciplinary, intersectoral, and participatory project that will last for 6 months. What the participatory has been called. What we mean trans interdisciplinary, it means that we want to see researchers, potentially researchers from different fields like social science, marine science, others. Intersectoral, because we want to see artists, we want to see civil society organization, we want to see NGOs, could be many, could be public bodies, could be third sector organization, more widely speaking. So we really looking for projects that mix disciplines, mean sectors, and engage citizens, of course. So of course, you can participate even if you are an individual person, but because we're looking for interdisciplinary, intersectorality, we will give a priority to consortia that can assure this diversity within their organization. So again, the keywords are art plus science plus citizen engagement. Which science? All of them, but of course marine science, marine-related sciences are central given the topic. Arts, which art? All artistic and creative expression are welcome. So this you will find in the slides, you will find in the guide of applicants, a list, but it's absolutely not an exhaustive list. So we're talking about visual art, literary art, performing art, new media, digital art, fashion design, gaming. The mix of all of these, music, again, all artistic expression are welcome. I'm sure you have in mind more than what we can put in this in a slide or in a document. The key objective of the participatory art initiative is increase citizens' ocean literacy, European citizens' ocean literacy. So this is the core, let's say, objective of all the open calls so we will manage. So PartArt4OW will manage 3 calls. This is the first one. Each call have a specific challenge. We will see in a second the challenge of the first call, but all the 3 calls have in common the fact that we want to increase citizens' ocean literacy, which means the capability to recognize the ecosystem services provided by the oceans, being able to communicate in an effective way about the ocean and its challenge, take informed decision regarding the oceans, including their, behaviors that can affect the oceans and the waters. But besides this cognitive level, no? So you understand the problem, you understand how the ocean and water works, you understand the threat that they are their experience, you are able to take decisions. There is also a part that is not purely rational, but is more looking at the emotions that are engaged with ocean and water. We really want to increase, so not only the awareness and the knowledge, but also the emotional attachment. And for this, of course, we think that participation and art together can make a big difference. So, what we are offering? We are offering more than just money, but of course, money helps. So you can have up to 50K euros, 50,000 euros. But around that, there is a space of 6 months in which we want to help you in maximize your impact, and we will support you via training, a dedicated mentor that will be assigned to you at the beginning of the process, ad hoc training or support related to the needs that may emerge related to your project, networking opportunities, and then also visibility. So we will help you disseminate the work you'll be doing, but we will also have a demo day event at the end of the accelerator in which you will be asked to replicate or present or partially replicate the main output of your project. And we also have the PartArt4OW water sailing lab, which is an actual boat, an actual physical boat that will sail around the Mediterranean, visiting different spots in which the PI will take place, and bringing the output from one place to another, trying to create a network and to link all the projects that we will be supporting. So you can think about this, we use the term accelerator that is typical of the startup world, but it's really have around you a system that can support you in making your work even more effective that you could have done without our support. So if you do not need all of these, this is not a call for you. So if you're just to be very direct, if you're not interested in having this support system, this is not the call for you, because interacting with us will take part of your time, will take part of your energies, because, for example, we will have a 3-day online bootcamp that will be intense in terms of delivering the training and working with you on the competence that we think are needed in order to be successful. Interacting with the mentor will take time via the demo day. So all of these activities are opportunity for you, but if you don't see them as opportunity, so don't apply, let's say. The accelerator will last 6 months. It can be divided in 3 phases, in 3 steps. The first month, you will revisit your proposal idea, also with the support of your mentor and the training to refine it, let's say, improve, refine it. Then there is the main part of the accelerator is for the implementation of your project. So 4 months in which you will work and doing the activities you wrote in the proposal. And then in the last month, there is the exhibition that is partly done at your local level and partly done at the demo day. So this some of the some of you asked previously if the only space in which the project will be delivered, let's say, is the demo day. No, this is not the case. We want the project to be local, to work with communities, to work with citizens. So most of the work, 99% of your work, will be in the location you define and you select for your project. Then you will show in a way or another, this is depending of your activities and output at the demo day in Barcelona at the end. There will be 2 review, midterm and final review, that are meant to fine-tune the work at the midterm and then at the end evaluate if you really did the work you promised. And of course, the budget distribution is also related to the fact that you do the work you promised. The first open call challenge. So we talked about ocean literacy. Of course, we want the project to raise awareness on marine and inland water challenges and mobilize citizens and stakeholders for the protection and restoration of efforts. So you see again in this wording, the emphasis on doing, on having citizens acting, participating in a very active way, not just recipient or learning things, but doing. Okay, this is the overarching goal. But specifically for this call, the challenge is engage local community for protecting and restoring marine and freshwater ecosystems. So the challenge is working on ecosystems. We kept it very open because we want participants to be free to explore the many aspects and streets that are related to the oceans and water ecosystem and biodiversity, which are many, as we know. But we are particularly interested in unseen phenomenon that can be unseen for many reasons. Unseen because they are not explored yet. There is need to do more research, but also can be unseen because they are invisible to the citizens. They happen in a way that is not evident to them, but also because we are too distracted or too disconnected from the ocean to see those changes. So this invisibility can take different shape, and it's up to you to interpret this word according to also the challenges that you find in your place, in your community. And we're also very interested in the interdependencies between different aspects of marine ecosystem protection and restoration, because there is, of course, the natural challenges, but there are also the cultural and the political and many other aspects that enter into place. So we're particularly interested in projects that are able to tackle these interdependencies. Be sure to read very carefully the first open call challenge, because your project need to be on these. You can work on ocean or inland waters or both at the same time. The focus should be on the communities and the societal and environmental challenges that affect those communities. So this is research for society, with society, I will say. Research, art, creativity, with society and for society. For us, it's also very important to look at citizens in the spectrum of their diversity. So to be able to engage underrepresented groups or groups at risk of social exclusion, discrimination, and also people and communities that are far from art and far from science, so that have few opportunity to engage in with art and science separately or together, that have low access to educational opportunities. We know we are asking a lot. We are aware of that. We discuss it internally a lot about how much we could push on this, but we really believe that we have to reach to a diversity of actors and people and make an effort in giving the possibility to work on this topic to people that are left a little bit behind. Of course, we also do expect to do what we preach. So if we want to protect the ocean and the water, we have to be fully sustainable. It means that the project you will be asked to describe how you make your project sustainable in terms of material, if you are working with renewable energy, if you're thinking about circular solutions, and also to commit to the Climate Pact pledge, which is an European Commission initiatives to have citizens and community involved in the decarbonization and carbon neutrality pathway. Who can participate? Unfortunately, not everybody, but a lot of people. So be reassured and read very carefully in the guide of application, the FAQs, the eligibility criteria. As I said, can participate individual, can participate legal entity, and can participate consortia. We will give priority to consortia, as I just said. Applicants must be legally established in EU member state or associated country. Organization, individual from third countries, including low and middle income countries, can participate, but cannot be the lead of the project. So the funding goes to the leader that then distribute at consortium level the budget assigned, but the lead need to be established in the EU member state or an associated country. Please keep it, put an eye and watch out if your country is under EU restrictive measure under the Article 29 of the Treaty of the European Union. There are some countries that cannot participate, even if they are associated country or third countries in principle, because in this moment they are under EU restrictive measure, and you will find in the guide of applicants the links to the list of the countries that are in this position. We are not presenting because they are changing over time, so it's important to keep an eye on it before the submission. All projects must be implemented within territory of the EU member states or in associated country. So again, the third country can participate, but the project, the activities need to be delivered in EU member state territories or in associated countries. Every entity, every person also can participate only in one application. Double funding is not allowed. We will talk a little bit later. We will talk in a moment about this, but it means that you want to build on top of a project that already exists. You have to use PartArt4OW money, so European Commission money, for new activity, for additional activities, additional in bits, let's say. You can build on something that already exists, but we cannot finance something that is already financed by another funder. So, for example, you have every year you have the Festival of the Sea in your city, and you want to build on top of that. Fine, you can do that, but you have to design activities that are not already funded by the festival. For example, you want to invite artists from abroad, you want to do a cinema program that is not financed yet. So you want to enlarge the festival, and then you can look for the funding of PartArt4OW for enlarging. But you cannot spend the money of PartArt for something that is already paid by other funds, for example, national funding or other European projects. All application must be submitted by the deadline, which is the 3rd of April, 5 p.m. Central European Time, with a valid application form and a signed declaration of honor. There are other eligibility criteria. We cannot go one by one because there are many. Please read it carefully in the guide of applicants, because do a lot of work and not being eligible because you forget something or you didn't watch out, for example, the list of the country that can apply will be a missed opportunity. Then let's say you submit the proposal. Okay, so how do you, because you read the guide of applicants, you read the FAQ, you study them, you know them all, you download the application form from the PartArt4OW website. So you click here, you read it, you click here, you read it, you study, you really take a close look at that. Then you download the application form, which is a Word document, 5 pages limit, and then the declaration of honor, you sign it and put the date on it. Then you go to the submission platform and upload those two documents. If you have trouble with the submission platform, you will find a manual, a tutorial on how to use, how to assess and how to work on the platform, which is EasyChair, which is a platform for conferencing. And you do all of this within the deadline. The application form is composed of four main parts. So there is an introduction, and then there are four main parts. Ideas of the project, the implementation, that is the activities that you want to perform in order to reach the objectives that you describe in the idea section. And there is also budget to be described. It's not a very detailed budget, it's divided by voices, you will see later, but still, it has to match the activities. So if you say that you will build a statue, a 20-meter status in a square, you need to have the budget for the materials to build the status. So otherwise, we will say, okay, this activity is not feasible, and the reviewer will give you a low score. So the budget need to match, need to be described sufficiently to be matched with the activities. The team and community, so we want to see who is working on this project, what are the competencies, how interdisciplinary it is, intersectoral it is, and also the community you want to work and the level of capability of engaging underrepresented groups, and then the impact, including the long-term sustainability. So what do you think is the plan for the outputs? They will finish when the financing and the accelerator finish, or you have the capability to keep it going, or to keep it available, to keep it useful for the community in the long run. Each part will be assessed in a separated way by three experts, one in social science and humanities, one from ocean sciences, and one from the artistic and creativity sector. So you will have three people looking at the proposal, give the scores, and if you pass the threshold, then you will be invited for an interview. Interview will be short in time, but it's very important for us to dig a little bit on things that are not 100% clear in the proposals, and to know you also. Again, look at the list of criteria that is available in the guide of applicants, because you see the application form. You may wonder what they're looking for. If you look at the criteria, so the way in which the reviewer will evaluate the proposal, you will have more information on the expectation we have on the proposal. In the application form, in the first page, if you didn't download yet, you will find this in red, exactly these 10 points that give all the instructions. For example, you cannot change the font and the dimension. So it's 5 pages. It's 5 pages of Arial, 11 single spacing. If you start writing in 8, of course, you can write more stuff in that, but we will not review it. Okay, so the reviewers will not have your proposal if you don't respect the rules that are in the application form. It's the same for the maximum length is 5 pages. If it's 6 pages, it will not be evaluated. So please read it carefully before it has to be deleted before submission, but you read it first very carefully. Chiara.
Yes, hello. Hello, everybody. Sorry for my voice. Today is not perfect. Well, probably never is perfect, but not today. Trivial suggestion on how to write a proposal. Probably most of you already have all of these points in mind, but just in case you've not, do consider that you only have a limited number of pages. This means that every word counts. Every word needs to be very carefully selected, because it's the only way that you have to convince us that your proposal is perfectly in line with what we called for, and that you will be able to perform it efficiently until the end of the project. So we are going to receive a large amount of proposal, so pay extra attention and answer all the questions. And if you have the doubt that two questions ask for the same information, read them twice, because probably there is a different perspective that we are asking you to consider that you may have disregarded at the first reading, and you may appreciate when you come back on the questions. What we ask, second point, is exactly what we want to know. This means do not wander around, just go to the point, be precise, be concise, be punctual, provide example references, data, everything that is able to both illustrate as the topic you want to work on, the context you aim to perform your project in, and also the overall context and for the overall motivation for Revit performance. Third point, be pragmatic, of course, realistic, schematic, and logically coherent. You can also add within the limit of the application pages, graphics or design, if these help reviewers to better understand what you want to do, or perhaps the concept behind your key idea, your great idea. We would like you to be ambitious, but at the same time, we want you to be realistic, what you can actually perform, because you are going, as in a few minutes we are explaining, you're going to have the first installments at the beginning of the project once selected, and the final installment at the end of the project after the proof that you perfectly completed what you proposed at the beginning. And that's all by now from my side.
Thank you, Chiara. I see in the chat that someone is asking what the second call and the third call will be about. We will make public the topic of the second call only once the first call is finished, and the same for the third one. We cannot anticipate. What we can tell you is that if you are not successful in the first open call, you can resubmit your proposal on the second open call and the third open call if the topic is still relevant. So it will not be biodiversity protection for the second open call. Okay. This is the timeline. I see other questions about the timeline. The timeline is fixed. Is fixed because we have to do 3 open calls within 30 months of the project. It's also because of the budget and everything. So there is not flexibility. The first accelerator starts in September 2025 and will last 6 months. And you have to do your project in this specific period of time. If you are shortlisted, you will know on the 14th of May, and you will have the interviews between the 15th, in a day that is between the 15th and the 29th of May. You will receive an email from us telling it is the 16th at noon. We do not have flexibility. It has to be in that day. You have to make yourself available. We all know that you are busy, you have other works, and this is something that is on top of something that is already going on. But if we have to interview 30 projects, we cannot have a doodle for each of them and trying to do a Tetris of the agendas of people in all the projects. So it will be fixed, and it's up to you to make yourself available. It has the coordinator, the lead of the project must be present. Other team member can be present if they add to the discussion, if they want to be. But the important thing is to have the lead of the project in the interview, or anyone who is needed in order to answer our questions. And now I leave the floor to Caterina for the financial guideline. You tell me next, and I change the slide.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you all hear me well? Okay, perfect. So it's up to me now. Hi, everyone. It's up to me now to go through the financial guidelines for this call, and therefore to see together the rules according to which the winning activities will be funded. So first of all, how much and when the winners will receive the funding. So first of all, each initiative will be granted up to 50,000 euros. and you will receive this amount 50% at the beginning, so first month of the accelerator, and then 50% at the end of the accelerator period. So after the final report and in the month following the end of the accelerator. The funds will be transferred well, keep in mind that this means that some of the costs will have to be advanced by the winners. And so this needs to, it means that you need to plan accordingly. The funds will be transferred as
Sorry,
lump
Caterina,
sums.
just to clarify this point, it's not
Yeah.
our rule, it's European Commission rule, it's not us
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is and it's we know it's a problem for many of you, but it's something that cannot be changed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's correct. So as I was saying, the funds will be transferred as lump sums. So if you can go to the next slide, we can look and see what this means. Okay, so a lump sum is a fixed amount of money that it's based and will be based on the budget proposal that you will provide during the application process. So it will match your needs in terms of funding for your activities. You will not be asked for a financial report without the costs that you had. However, you will have to keep the receipts and justifications of the activities and of the costs for a period up to 5 years in case of an audit from the Commission, and this can always happen. So this is something that you need to remember. So we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so here you can find the, let's say, general principles according to which you can spend the money on, and that all indicate basically that the costs will have to be directly connected with activities of the project, and the activities you will spend the money on will need to be essential and necessary for carrying them out. And also they will have to happen within the 6-month period. So all the costs you will have needs, and that you can use the money we will provide for these activities needs to be spent in this period of time. Maybe we can go to the next slide, please. So even though you will not have to report financially to us, according to the Commission, the money can be spent on specific items and services that I put here in the slides. I will not go through the specifics of this because you can find all this information in the guide for applicants. But just to give you a quick overview, you can spend the money on the personnel, so the salaries, social contributions, subcontracting costs. So when you contract to another entity, a part of the work of your project, purchase costs, indirect costs that cover things such as rent, administration costs, printing, and these kind of things. And maybe we can go to the next one. Yeah, I will go. I just went very quickly through this because you really will find all the detailed information in the documents of the call. And maybe we can go to the next slide. There's also something you cannot spend the money on, and this is specifically the VAT. So any VAT that is recoverable under the national tax system cannot really be charged to the project. So please remember that all the costs needs to be well, consider this when you think about your budget. And yes. Thank you. Next slide. So here you can find, remember I said that you have to keep the receipts and justifications for 5 years. So here are the types of costs you need to keep the receipts for, and they basically mirror the eligible cost categories that we saw before. So the personnel cost, subcontracting, equipment, travel, indirect costs, and bank statements. Okay, so this is all. I hope that was clear. I will leave the floor now to my colleague Luca that will talk about the contract.
Just a second on the subcontracting, because we received some questions. You will find the FAQ, but maybe in person is better. You can subcontract activities, but not the main activities. So if the project is about, I don't know, doing something with theater, you cannot subcontract the organization, the management of the activities related to theater. You can subcontract part of the budget for making a videos, for example, or to build something that is needed for the theatric performance, but not the main project, because the team you propose is the team that has the capacity and the competence for doing what you are planning to do. This is important.
Yes,
Luca,
absolutely. Thank you.
the contract.
Good afternoon to everybody. Yes, about the contract, I'll be very quick, just to leave space for the answering question time. So the contract we propose to you is among two parties. One is the Sapienza University of Rome, and the other is the third party, the Participatory Art Initiative. As the colleagues said before, the third party can be both an individual or an organization or a consortium with the rules that the colleagues explained before, and that they are all super clearly written in the guide for applicants. So again, please read them. So next slide, please. When you will see the contract, please read it carefully. Ask us every question you may have, and most of all, tell the truth when filling it. Most of all, at the end, in the declaration of honor, as I will explain a bit. So the contract is mainly divided into three parts. Okay, the reciprocal obligation among us and you, the methods, requirements, and timing of payments, and the annexes. So I will go very quick through all these parts. Next slide, please. Okay. Okay, sorry. What do you have to do? You have to fulfill all the proposal and the activities you proposed us during the proposal, and what after the negotiation phase we as reviewers and partners may ask you to add to that proposal. So you have to fulfill all these activities which may change after and during the negotiation phase. So okay, this is the timeline. So for the winning ones, at the end, before the end of July, we will see the contract. And by the beginning of September, you will receive the first slot of money, the 25K, as the Caterina said before. The other part, the 25K, the second half, will arrive after the end of the project. When the project will end, you have to write a report. We will give you a template to be filled in, and so you will be asked to repeat and tell us everything you did on the project. After that, when we can check that everything went well, we will pay to you the second lot of money. So maybe before, by the end of April 2026, you will for sure receive the second lot of money, 25K. So next slide, please. Okay. In the final report, as I said before, it's crucial because we use it to check if you work well. So you have to describe your project, the activities you did, the communication activities you performed, the dissemination activity, and so on. It will be super clear, the template to fill in this report. So for any question you will ask us, but will be super clear. So next slide, please. Okay, when you will see in the contract, you have to share with us your bank accounts details, and this is the format you can use so that it is compliant with the European Commission's requirements. And next slide, please. This is part of the annexes of the contract. In the annexes, there is also two informed consent forms. The first one is for PIEs. It is to be used when you organize your projects with the people and the participants you involve. Everybody has to see this form. You have to use it to have the to share the data of these people you involve, and you have to keep it for 5 years. So please pay attention to this. And next slide, please. As I said before, the declaration of honor is important because it is the way we can trust you when telling us about your economic situation. So please, if you're bankrupt, if you're conflicts of interest with us and stuff, please do not see the declaration of honor, do not apply. Otherwise, if you don't tell the truth, that might be a big problem in legal terms. So next slide, please. Okay, this is the last document you will see. The contract is the content, the format with which you will allow us as partners to share among us your data, just to implement the impact assessment and to disseminate our activity, to work on the scientific publications and stuff. So, okay, we have a data sharing agreement, just allow us to do this. So thank you.
Yeah, just want to stress that this the contract. You don't have to do anything at proposal stage, so you don't have to sign the contract now. But you have to read it very carefully, because if you're not in the position of signing it, again, you're doing a lot of work, and then you cannot be financed. And we will discover only at the end of the evaluation. So read it carefully. About the informed consent, there is a part in the proposal that is about ethics, and we take this very, very seriously. So you will be working with people, probably you will be working with disadvantaged group. So we have to be very careful in how we treat their data and how we engage with them in a responsible research approach. So be aware that there will be the need to have them signing for example, being recorded or be participating in video recording as we did today. They have to sign this consent form, and they have to be informed transparently on what is going on, what are the activities they're performing, and what you will do with their data. Okay, so we have 8 minutes for questions, but I see that in the chat we answered most of your questions. Salvatore, there is something you want to put on the table, or should we open the mic?
No, there is nothing that I want to put on the table.
Okay.
Just some questions related to the second and third call, but it's I mean, we answered in the chat. So.
Okay, so someone wants to ask something? We are here. You can raise your physical hand or your virtual hand. Or maybe you just need to digest everything. It was a lot, we know.
Hello, I'm Owen. I have a question.
Go, please.
So in the first webinar, which I didn't attend, there was a a matchmaking session. So I assume some people that were in that are now thinking about things that might not be in this. So, I mean, is there some sort of way of sharing what might have been emerging from the first matchmaker session or something like that?
Okay, this is it's an interesting question. I mean, now we will have this the second matchmaking session. Unfortunately, we cannot share the contact. So I cannot tell you there is Maria Bianchi from Milan that is looking for an artist, etc. But we can maybe we can share briefly what emerged. The same, for example, in my room, that was the one about on Southeast Mediterranean. There were a few proposals coming from Italian and Cyprus mainly, and they didn't discuss that much about the project idea, but it was like more like we are looking for scientists, we are looking for artists, we are a small organization that can do this, and that, but they were not like full proposal yet. There was a couple of presentations that they pitched, but I cannot again disclosure the content of the pitch, but was more like starting to create links. And I think more or less this was happening in the other rooms too.
Yeah, is there any question that has been not answered yet in the...
Andrea Ferrari.
Hi, everybody. I have a question about the creation of the consortia. We need I don't know, like a registration on some platform, or is enough to have a letter of intent?
We ask nothing at this stage. So the proposal stage, you just go in the submission platform, and you will be asked if you are an individual or if you are a consortium. You click on consortia, and then you enter the at least one person for each organization as contact person, and that is enough at this stage. Then if you will be selected at the time you will be negotiating with La Sapienza the contract, we might ask you to prove that this consortia does exist. But you will not never, even in the second stage, you don't need to create an organization, a legal entity on top of this consortia. It's just you that you say, yes, we are a consortium.
Okay,
Also, the
thank you.
declaration of honor is based, all the system is based on the assumption that you will tell the truth, basically.
Okay.
So there is the declaration of honor. We will not check if you are bankrupted. You declare that you are bankrupted.
Yeah.
If you are bankrupted and you declare false, then there is the legal authorities that will enter into place, but we will not do this check, and the same for the consortium.
Okay. Yeah, everything is clear now. And I have a second question. I already read on the chat a lot of question about it. Just to check. So the start of the project has to be in the 1st of September, and it has to end it at the end of February. I don't know if I would like to organize, I don't know, a festival or something like this. The festival has to be organized within the end of February, right?
Yes, which
Okay.
we are aware is not, winter is not the best time for for leaving the sea and the ocean, and the river, but unfortunately this is it's basically the results of the fact that we had to start in September and we have to finish in 30 months. So the first call is in this way, and the second and the third call will have similar challenges.
Okay, perfect. Thank
One
you very
call will
much.
be luckier than the other, but
Hi, hello. I have one question regarding the consortium. If it is encouraged to have a consortium, to establish a consortium, or it's perceived the same as you would apply as an individual institution?
I'm not sure I get the questions, but so we give priority
I
to
mean,
consortium. That means groups of people or groups of institutions instead of individuals. So I'm Antonella Passani and I do the project by myself.
okay,
The
I meant,
reviewers will give less score to my project compared to the one in which there is Antonella, Marina, Salvatore, Chiara, etc., etc. Then this is a group of individuals. It is considered a consortia. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chiara and Salvatore. Or is T6, La Sapienza, MC Regenera is a consortium of institutions.
I meant the consortium of institutions where I'm working in an institution, so we would, yeah. My question is, do we have to apply, and is the same eligible if you apply as a consortium of institutions, or you can apply as you individual institution just with your own project? I mean, collaborating with other artists, of course, but you are the leader and you're the one that holds the project. I hope I was clear enough.
There is not a priority between individuals and organization. These are rated equally. So you can participate as a network of artists or as a network of artists that belong to institutions, and so the institution participate. This is not, this doesn't give priority. The priority is between a single person or a group of. Chiara.
Of course.
Yes, just to maybe clarify a bit about the issue of who can apply. You can apply, we prefer you to apply as a consortium because we want to see a diversity of competences in the group of people that promise to deliver a project. So if you are a group of 10 artists and you are all artists, this does not immediately better qualify you than a group of 5 people or 3 people with a larger diversity of competences inside, maybe citizens associations or scientists or institution and artists. That's the first point. And the second point is that you can have, this has been already said, but just to clarify once again, you may have, we can call them mixed hybrid consortium. So there may be consortium composed by a single individual who apply together with an institution. It goes without saying that institutions are made by individuals, but in this case, is the institution itself that take part in the consortium, and then there may be an organization, a civil society organization, for instance, and an individual scientist or a department of a university that comes together and join the consortium. And you can have consortium including different kind of actors, individual and institutions, or consortium that include only one kind of applicants, all institutions or all individuals, for instance. These are equally eligible.
And there are the questions about the timing, and I understand your desire to see if the second open call will be in the summer, but we are not in the position of publishing this information right now, also because we want to learn from what we are doing. So we use a reflexivity approach. So this call was open for 2 months, it's open for 2 months, then we have the timing for the evaluation and then the accelerator. We will use this experience to design the timeline for the second and the third call. So we're not in the position, we have our plan, but because it's not set in stone, I think Patres, if you agree with me, is a bit too risky to say, okay, the second call will be in June, because maybe it will not be in June. We have plans, but they're not set in stone, and also you don't know the challenge of the second open call. So maybe you wait for the second open call because the timing is better for the period for the summer, but then the topic is not the ones that you can work on. So let's focus on the first open call, and then follow us on our website and our social media to learn more when we will have the dates for the second and the third of open call. We will for sure publish it, and we understand that you need this information. We will think about this in the next weeks. 2 more questions, Anna and Valentina, and then we move to the matchmaking session.
Yeah, my question is connected to the double funding. Is it eligible to apply with a project that the continuation of a project that has been, let's say, finished at the end of August? So to use the initial idea, but to upgrade it, kind of, if you know what I was it clear enough? Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
And
so the important thing is that it's not finance the same project at the same time for another funding, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Valentina.
Yeah. Hi, I have a practical question. So I'm an artist and I already have the partners for the application. And I'm thinking, because I already asked, so the idea is that one of the legal entities will apply, so they will get the funds, but I would be the lead and I'm not contracted by them. I just want to know if this is possible, that they applied, they get the funds and they distribute it to all the partners, but I will be the lead and I'm individual, no? So would this work?
Chiara, do you want to take it?
Yes, basically it's you can take the lead even if you are yourself as an individual and you are in consortium with the institution, as I said before. It's fine for us, it's fine for the EU. If you are the ones who submit the proposal, who sign the contract, and who get the funds in case of success, and then use these funds and redistribute these funds according to the need of the project to other partners.
Okay, but could one of the legal entities get the funds? They apply, they get the money because they are a legal entity, and I will be the lead, like I'm part of the consortium, I'm not like contracted by this institution.
No, the contract.
Will that work?
The one who take the money is the leader.
Okay, so the person leading or participating in activities should be part of this legal entity.
Yeah, being leader means that you have the full control of everything that is going on in the entire process in terms of performance of activities that you plan to do, and also in terms of how money has spent and keeping all the records of them, and the way in which safety, security, privacy checks are all complied. And if you are the leader, you are also the legal responsible of the accomplishment of the full project with us, with the partnership, with the PartArt partnership. So basically with Sapienza, because you're right, you are signing a contract with the University of Rome with Sapienza. So you are the leader is the one who is responsible, legally responsible for everything.
Yeah, and the person participating in the activities, in the demo day, in all of these different things, like conversation with the mentor, should be also one person that it's part of this legal entity, right?
Okay, during the accelerator, there will be a number of initiatives, and we invite you to join as much as possible.
Okay.
All the people that are part of the consortium.
I understand.
However, depending on the kind of, we may be a little bit flexible about it, depending on the kind of consortium and the kind of activity that we are proposing. And so there may be a percentage of attendance which is required by each consortium, depending also on the kind of competencies of the participant to the consortium, which better fit with the specific activities envisaged by the accelerator this or that day.
Okay.
This is clear.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
There is a question about the conflict of interest. And the specific question is a collaboration with the faculty of La Sapienza University possible, or will it incur in a conflict of interest? If I have a contract with La Sapienza as a researcher, can I still participate in PartArt4OW and Water, or this is a conflict of interest? We write us an email because we have to dig into it. In any case, the process for the conflict of interest is that you declare upfront the thing by mail so that we can inquire it internally and see what to tell you. It depends also, Faculty Sapienza is a big faculty. So give us the specificities and we will see. There are things that if you are a family member of us, you cannot participate. So this is straightforward. If you work for us, in theory not, but in the case of a large organization like Sapienza, we have to investigate a bit better case by case. But it's important that you tell us upfront, sending a dedicated email in the object. Maybe you can also already put potential conflict of interest, so we put our attention in it. Then it's also a matter of reviewers. So if there is something that is not directly prohibiting the proposal, but if you meet me in a conference 2 years ago, you want to declare the fact that you know me, and I will not be the reviewer of your proposal, for example. This can be solved in this way. In other cases, it's more complicated. Okay, so we really need to go for the matchmaking session.
There is a further answer that is coming. I think that Caterina and Luca are dealing with it. It's about the VAT. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've already replied, and if the VAT is not recoverable in any way, I think it can be part of the costs, because the rule is that the VAT that are recoverable cannot be part of the budget, but otherwise. But I think I replied on the chat.
Fantastic. So, Marina, tell us how we go. We go further with the matchmaking session.
Okay, so hi, I'm Marina, and everyone that don't want to be in the matchmaking session can skip and go to wherever they want to do, and we are gonna start. So